2 years ago, 3 countries in West Africa did something that made France lose its mind. Mali, Burkina Faso and Niger didn't just walk away from ECOWAS, they built their own thing. And it's working so well that other African countries are starting to ask, wait, we can't actually do this ourselves? Look, I've been following African politics for years, and this story kept me digging even deeper because what's happening in the Sahel right now is not what anyone predicted. So the question is, did it actually work? Now I want you to picture this. Before 2023, these 3 countries were basically everything people pointed to when they want to explain what's wrong with Africa. Niger was literally one of the poorest countries on the planet, even though they are sitting on uranium that powers French nuclear plants. Mali had French troops everywhere, supposedly fighting terrorism, but the violence kept getting worse. Burkina Faso couldn't make a single decision without checking with major donors in Paris first. There is an African proverb saying the one who plants the tree doesn't get to enjoy its shade. That was basically these 3 countries growing worth that everyone else harvested. Then in September 2023, they signed this charter and formed the Alliance of Sahel States. But here's what caught my attention. This wasn't just another trade agreement. This was them saying, we are done asking for permission. And the reaction was intense. Remember when ECOWAS threatens to attack Niger? Every single expert said these guys are finished. They can survive without external support. But then something wild happened. Nigeria's parliament voted against the invasion. Nigerian generals who were supposed to lead that war went on record saying, we can't fight our own brothers. Across the continent, people were posting on social media defending the Sahel's right to choose their path. You see, a friend of mine in Accra told me something that stuck. He said, I have never seen African leaders put African dignity over Western approval like this. But standing up to threats is one thing. Actually building something better, that's when movements fall apart. Except they didn't fall apart. While everyone predicted economic collapse, these countries did something no one saw coming. They pulled almost 900 million and created their own investment bank. Now think about what that means. For years, they had to go to commercial banks that would charge crazy interest rates for short-term loans that kept them trapped. Now they control their own long-term financial projects. But this is the part that made me sit up. Ibrahim Traore in Burkina Faso bought over 1,000 construction vehicles and said he's building 5,000 kilometers of paved roads in 1 year. Look, before he took power, the entire country had just 3,000 kilometers of paved roads. We are talking about from independence, that is around the 1960s, to 2022. He's almost doubling that figure in just 12 months. Now, I kept thinking, where was the extra capacity hiding? How do we go from we need external help to do everything to we are building faster than anyone thought possible? Then it hit me. When you stop having to explain every decision to donors in 3 different capitals, you can actually move faster. Mali launched this massive rice production program. They want to be self-sufficient by 2030. Niger fixed their electricity problems for the first time in decades. Burkina Faso is building manufacturing plants and a 175 million university hospital. But the real tell? They eliminated roaming charges between their countries, created a joint passport, and set up unified customs. That's not symbolic. That's countries that actually wants to work together. Now, an economist
And that's a problem in Africa. And it's very sad because can you imagine if all the African countries do the same? Let's work together. No borders, one passport. Okay? You can go wherever you want. No problem. You can travel from country to country. No border. You're free to start a business in Mali, Senegal, Zimbabwe, South Africa, Ethiopia. Let's create our own bank, put our own money, and let's work together. Let's buy what we need to develop the country. Let's connect the country. Railroads, ports, roads, bridges. We all have resources, different resources. And we can sell those resources outside to start businesses, to start projects, to create infrastructures. Can you imagine? In 5 years only, Africa will be great. And in less than 100 years, that continent will be the number one on the planet. And that's sad because we lack solidarity, unity. We talk about tribes, countries, I'm not this, I'm not that, and we forget about something. Like I say all the time, one family, different lineage, one tree, different branches. You guys need to remember that. Let's keep pushing, guys.
Bamako told me, when you are not spending half your time justifying decisions to foreign donors, you'll be surprised what you can get done. But here's what's really interesting. Now, other countries are watching. Reports say Togo wants to join. And I get it. When you see Niger go from one of the world's poorest economies to Africa's fastest growing in just 2 years, you start asking questions. You see, these guys didn't just leave ECOWAS. They pulled out from the International Criminal Court, called it biased against African countries, and said they are creating their own court system. The message is clear. We are not just changing our economic relationships. We are changing everything. And that's what's making people nervous. Because if it works, it becomes a template. If it fails, it proves every argument about why Africa supposedly needs external guidance. While France is scrambling, guess who is moving in? Russia just signed nuclear deals with these countries. China is stepping up their partnerships. But here's the smart part. They kept the CFA franc for now. They are not burning bridges. They are building new ones while crossing them. They know you can't change everything overnight. And they created a mutual defense pact. Attack one, you are attacking all three. They are building a joint military force. There is an Akan proverb I always like to use. When spider webs unite, they can tie up a lion. That's exactly what's happening here. So what's actually happening on the ground? Niger's economy is expected to grow 14% this year, two-digit growth. Burkina Faso's infrastructure boom is literally visible from space. Mali is getting close to food self-sufficiency faster than anyone predicted. But you know what really gets me? The confidence. When I watch these leaders speak, they are not apologizing. They are not seeking validation. They are governing like they run actual sovereign countries. And that psychological shift might be the biggest change of all. Because
the only thing, the only problem, I don't know if it's a problem or not, but I think we need to think about the next generation. Okay? Everything they are doing is great. We love that. We appreciate that. That's the way to go. That's the way to do. But are they teaching the next generation? That's what I want to know. You know what I mean? It's okay, it's great to do all those things, but you need to teach the next generation so when you're not there, they can follow your steps and keep doing what you started. You know what I mean? Because to me, it seems like they maybe want to stay in power for the longest. I'm not sure about that. But, I mean, China, they have the same president for ages, so why not? Pretty much don't care if they stay in the power for ages, but as long as they develop the country and the people having good life, I really don't care. But they need to teach the next generation patriotic, Africa first mindset. That's the only thing that I'm questioning myself about.
Here's what I've learned covering African politics. The biggest barrier to development has never been resources or capacity. It's been the mental colonization where leaders seek approval from outside instead of focusing on results for their own people. The Sahel Alliance just broke that cycle. So where does this go? If this model works, it changes everything. Every regional bloc in Africa will be asking why they are building integration around external approval instead of internal results. But if it fails, if security falls apart, if economies crash, if the alliance breaks up, it reinforces every argument for why Africa supposedly needs external guidance. The next couple of years will show us whether we are watching the birth of a new model for African sovereignty or just another experiment that couldn't handle reality. So here's what I think. This isn't just a West African story. This is a prototype for what African integration could look like when it's fast, decisive, and locally controlled. So stop asking the wrong question. So the question isn't whether you agree with every decisions these leaders make. The question is whether you believe Africans can govern themselves better than external powers can govern them. Because that's really what this is all about. So what do you think? Can this model spread across Africa? Or is this just a moment that will fade when reality hits? Let me know in the comments because I have a feeling we are about to find out. My name is Asongwe Luis.
Yeah. I believe that's the way to go, we need to do things by ourselves, Let the West do their thing. Let the West collapse. We have things to do. We need to come together. We need to work together. We need to will together. This is the only way we can succeed. If not, we still pray. You know what I mean? It's going to be easy for them to attack us, and take over us. But if we come together, we can, build a society, or army, or economy, our education, system education, our politics. And yeah, that's the way, that's the only thing. And what Burkina, Mali, and Niger, what they're doing, it's great. It's great, and I can't wait to see the results. So guys, let me know what you think. Thanks Africa Today for the video, and guys, don't forget to subscribe, to like, comment below, watch the next video, and yeah, support the channel as well. Till next time, take care of you and the family. Peace out.